So we start from the contact point and we just exchange some balls. So what he tries to do is not move anything. What he tries so the correct phrasing is that he isn't trying to do anything. As long as one tries to do not to do something, he needs to keep practicing. Okay, so it would be very like this. It would be very natural, and he shouldn't use his wrist. So, for example, he shouldn't do that. So that's very usual. Okay, it's an instinct, but it's something that he must stop doing. It's just the rhythm. It's just a bit of shoulder if you want. The elbow is always the elbow is always stretched. So I could do this. Okay, I'm letting the ball bounce. Okay, so and maybe I can even play, take my racket and even play at that point. Okay, with the ball bouncing. So like this, for example. Okay, this is considered very much static. And of course we're in the static phase. So next is, from there he goes up to the universal reference point. Okay, so again with no bounce. Okay, with bounce. Now what I could alter doing this, and again I'm insisting, do not take all the steps. Oh, that's a great guideline, but try to understand the rationale. So I could do this again with my legs like this, or with my legs like this, or even with a slide step like this. The ball is coming and I do a slide step. So I could just do a small step with my non-dominant leg. I could do it statically, which means that I start, for example, in the contact point position, and the trainer says go, I do the small step, and then he throws the ball, like this. So, come. So now I could decide, and I could, for example, go from the contact point to the universal reference point and to the ending position, or I could go from the hitting position until the universal reference point. One case would be this. 1, 2. It's segmented. Okay, that's the way we start it now. And the next would be to go from the hitting position until the universal reference point. So open the hitting position. Now the ball must bounce. So he gives me the ball, and then I add the finishing position. Okay, so do the whole movement. Okay, and I try very early to make the whole practice. So do a whole movement. So from the point he goes to the hitting position, I can come to his side and feed him like this, okay? And he can do whole practice or part practice. Then he can go to the starting position. But it's best, in the beginning at least, and later of course, to go to the starting position from the universal reference point, so he may have his hand relaxed. So this is something like a law for learning, and it has to do with the learning spiral that we will see. Each time I add something, for example now I add the starting position, I remove something, I remove something else, for example from the end. This is to keep the freedom degrees low, so he doesn't have to process too much information. If I go from here, now he won't go till the ending position, he will go till the universal reference point like this, and then he will do the whole movement. Of course, as you understand, this requires lots of repetitions, but we will see how we do repetitions. We haven't seen yet how we do the repetition. We will have to refer to different concepts like blocked, random, serial practice, and so on. All this time, his position was square. Okay, now we may choose, and we should choose, to have the balance, the weight on one leg, and do something like this. So again, okay, so this is just the toe touching very, very lightly, no weight at all here. So again, we remove segments. So for example, he could go from the starting position till the universal reference point, or he could go from the hitting position to the end of the movement, and then do the whole movement again from starting point till the end. So all this time, Polycarpos was open. His waist was directly facing the net. Now, if I start moving to the side, my waist, my front leg continues to look to the front. Okay, so now that I have begun to turn, I remove again segments from somewhere else. So now he's not full square stance, but we have like 45 degrees turn of the waist. So now again we do what we know. So he starts from there and goes until the universal reference point, or he starts from the hitting position, for example, for instance, and goes till the end of the movement. He can do that statically, like being in open stance, or like being in his front leg, or he can do that later on, a bit later on, dynamically. So start from weight on one leg, transfer weight, and then hit. Because all these are transitions. Transitions are very important. We should always study before the transition, after the transition, and try to connect them. So, next, square stance. Now he's diagonally. Okay, so his waist isn't facing the net, it's facing 45 degrees. Whatever I do, if I come to the universal reference point, my waist has to face the net. So he starts there, and I have two things. The first thing is that I can do part practice and start, for example, from the starting position and go until the end, until the universal reference point. And the second thing is that I can first move my waist. So first move my waist. I haven't thrown the ball yet. One, and then. And the next level is to do this dynamically. So he starts from the starting position, he waits, I release the ball, and then he turns. Okay. So each time I add something, I remove something else. Just have this practical guide. This is this kind of law, and see what you want to keep and what you want to remove from somewhere else, usually from the end. Okay. So the same thing is at square position, at square stance. So for example, let's go to the hitting position. Okay, so first come forward. Okay, I don't move the arm at all. I just try to get my waist parallel, so at universal reference point I will be directly facing the net, and then as we know it, and we remove the end of the movement. And now starting from the hitting position, it's one movement. Okay, and finally I go from the starting position, all the movement, whole practice. Then I can do some form of exercises, like for example, I could overpronate my non-dominant leg and then change to do the same with my other leg, do it. Okay, 1, 2, and I could do it dynamically also, so do it dynamically. 1, wait, and 2. So this is how the shot is built. The last thing I could add is that at this level I could also vary the way I feed, but not greatly, because it's not my purpose to stay here for long. Okay, so I could, for example, feed him with different rhythms. So open anywhere. Let's just say we are examining a specific part. So I could do 1 and 2. Okay, or I could give him more time. Wait, wait, wait. Now. Okay. So you may have noticed that Polycarpos is a bit hitting with his elbow. This is good as an exercise when you start learning, because you have to decelerate the elbow. The elbow, of course, should not be decelerated against the movement. It should be a natural consequence of the movement, not like as I'm pressing the hand forward to injure my shoulder. So one good idea would be to hit the ball and the movement and then hit the target. So 1, 2. Okay, and I could close the gap. So like this. 1, 2. So this is another exercise, an important one, because that's what the model says. The target, the goal is these two motions to become one, and not like 1 and 2, but like it's exactly like I'm catching something. Okay, so it's the same movement in the end. One cannot see it or understand it, and maybe the elbow doesn't even move at all to the other side, but what you see has nothing to do, the end product, with how you came to do it. So an end product that the elbow is not visible but trained is like this.